If Victor Wembanyama is a viable contributor on a championship team, that to me constitutes a successful career. That's it. That's all I'm looking for out of the number one overall pick. If he is a viable, important contender, or piece, I should say, on a championship winning team, if he's a vital part, an integral part of a championship the Spurs win down the road, I think everything else outside of that is gravy. MVPs, All-NBA teams, multiple championships. You want to talk about the GOAT debate? Everything after being a viable part of a championship team, everything after that is gravy. If he is able to just win a title in San Antonio, that to me would deem his career successful. That is the realistic expectation I am setting for Victor Wembanyama's career. Be a viable contributor on a championship team. Am I setting the bar too low here? This is a very, extremely highly hyped prospect. And I know I'm not asking a lot, but I don't think I'm setting the bar too low. I think I'm being truly realistic in what I'm asking for and what he's capable of doing. So I'd love to hear your thoughts here. 855-212-4227. 855-212-4227. You can tweet me at Ryan_Hickey and the number 3. Is just asking Victor Wembanyama to be a contributor on a championship team not a high enough standard for what his career could be? Because I'll be honest here. Again, we've heard of him, right, for the last, let's say, year or so, as he was playing in France and getting ready to come to the NBA. And really the last few months, as we got closer and closer to the NBA draft, is where the hype, where the conversation, where the expectations just went through the roof. Through the roof. And frankly, the way I've heard 99% of talk about Victor Wembanyama's career when it comes to expectations, it's so ridiculously high and basically unachievable that everybody's setting him up to fail. No one is giving him a chance of success, and that is what I'm trying to do here. I am trying to realistically give him a chance to succeed. And that's why for me, if he wins a championship in San Antonio, mission accomplished. That's all you're looking for. That's really all you need to do. Because the way you hear people talk about him, the way you hear what would be deemed a failure is flat out ludicrous and unrealistic. Like, there are analysts, and I don't want to name any because I don't want to really give them the attention they're looking for. But there are people paid to give their opinions that are in the know, that on the record have said, if Victor Wembanyama's career resembles one of Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, or Hakeem Olajuwon, that his career would be a failure. That's right. That's someone on the record who is paid to know about the NBA, said that if he, in Victor Wembanyama, has a career identical to Kevin Durant, Hakeem Olajuwon, or Anthony Davis, it would be a failure. That is absurd. That is impossible. And that is frankly unfair to put those expectations on this player. You are begging, you are saying right there, nothing he can do unless he is the greatest player in NBA history would impress you. That's stupid. I'm sorry, that is flat out stupid. That is where the hype has gone too far. That is where the hype has gotten to a point where it's unattainable no matter what he does. If you are saying on the record that being an MVP of the league, winning multiple championships, being a Hall of Fame player is not good enough, then you are just rooting for him to fail. And you're giving him no chance whatsoever to succeed because you are setting the bar impossibly high that realistically no NBA player could really achieve. So I'm trying to go against that. I'm trying to give Wembanyama a chance here. He even had Woj on the draft. And you know Woj, right? He's an NBA news breaker, not much of an opinion maker. But during the draft, he said that Victor Wembanyama could be the most highly anticipated player to ever enter the NBA. More than LeBron James, more than other players. There's been plenty of highly hyped players coming out of college and coming out of, overseas that we've been excited to see. And for Victor Wembanyama to blow past LeBron, blow past others, and basically have to be the best player to ever play the game or his career is a failure is absurd. Is absolutely absurd. And that's why I keep going back to, if he just wins a title, that for me is a success. Like, let's also not pretend like being the number one overall pick in the NBA draft is a lock for you to be one of the best players ever. Let's just really quickly here go back to recent memory of number one highly hyped prospects and see how their careers have gone. Before Wembanyama, the most recent hyped prospect, right, the number one overall pick coming out of college was who? Zion Williamson. How has that worked out so far? Has Zion been everything we thought? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Injuries are a big part of that, sure, but that's also part of the game. You got to be available and out there in order to make an impact. That's where Zion has fell short. Greg Oden, same thing going back about, at that point, 15 years before, 10 years before. Another highly hyped prospect that came nowhere close of attaining the levels of success most people had penciled in for him. So it's not automatic. It's not this lock that, oh, you're this big time prospect everyone's talking about. Of course you're going to succeed. LeBron James is, I should say, don't grow on trees. Michael Jordans don't come around once every decade. Those are truly one-offs. And to be compared and basically saying if their career doesn't bare minimum match what LeBron or MJ does, it's a failure, is giving the kid no chance to succeed whatsoever. Like, honestly, if you're Wembanyama, you might as well retire. Because what you're being asked to do by some people, you'll never be able to achieve it. You'll never be able to reach those levels. And so now, if we're talking about what actually would constitute success, it starts and ends with championships. Because let's also realize, let's remember, that's all we care about. Like, if Wembanyama, let's say, won 5 MVP awards in his career but 0 championships, which number are we mentioning first? I tell you which number we won't be talking about first, 5. We won't be talking about his MVPs if at the end of his 10, 15, 17-year career, he's got 0 rings. We always talk about championships first. And that's why, for me, the only expectation I'm putting on him centers around winning a championship. Being a large part of the Spurs winning a championship. Otherwise, I don't really care, to be honest with you. Because we don't really care about individual awards as it is. Like, if I ask you right now, how many MVP awards does Michael Jordan have? Could you quickly rattle off the number off your head? I bet you can't rattle off his MVP award number as fast as you can rattle off how many championships he's won. Same with LeBron James. Right? You know right away, Michael Jordan, first number you think of, 6 in terms of championships. LeBron, 4 in terms of championships. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is forgettable. All NBA teams, MVP award, all-star appearances. Nobody cares as much. We are in a championship-driven society, which is why if you're Victor Wembanyama and you go win a championship, whether it's with the Spurs or another team down the line, your career is a success. That's it. That is my expectation for Victor Wembanyama. Be a viable contributor on a championship team. Everything after that is gravy.